Hello there, fellow summoners. Mad Dog HT here, and I'm just having a video to show how the Turning the Tide fight works, and there's some bugs in it. I will have time codes where you can skip to any of the fights, and it will indicate whether or not it's bugged or not. So here's the Hulkbuster fight on Acid Wash. I had already taken the Doc Ock and the Hood fight, along with the Morningstar Caltrops fight. And with this negative 40% Mystic thing on today, I just knew that I wasn't going to do enough damage with Claire without boosting, so I boosted up. You can see that I started the fight out with that purple icon as a number 3, so basically your special 3 was the only special at that point in time that would do damage. It is on special 3 again, and it just cycles through that timer. It's going to go, and boom, it switches to 1, and then when the timer gets up again, it's going to switch to 2, and just keeps rotating. So I'm just kind of waiting out that timer so I can get some damage in on my special 2. Now, you can manually force it to switch to the next one by ending your combo differently with a light versus a medium. Now, this is problematic for Claire, particularly on Acid Wash, because you need to be doing poison to do damage to begin with. And so I was waiting out the timers and waiting until I got to a special 2 again so that I could throw it and get damage and put on the buff immunity debuff on him to get rid of his armor so that I wouldn't get shock. And that time Mystic Dispersion didn't do me any favors. It pushed me to L3. And so this is going to take quite a bit of long time. This is day 4 with Turning the Tide. So I will let this play out. I almost time out. So if I was not boosted, I had a health attack, and a health and attack boost, plus the Mystic boost modifiers, the special boost stuff, and I still almost timed out. So this is, yeah, I'm super happy that Hulkbuster's going away, but I'll let this play out. You can watch it. I do end up healing on this fight because the buff immunity was able to keep off those armors and give me enough clairvoyant charges when he would get armors that I could nullify them when they came back around. So Claire is a decent option, but with negative 40% damage because of the weekly thing that you get, 3 classes have a plus or minus attack. That really hurt her here. But yeah, again, time codes in the description to skip to any fight you want. This one wasn't bugged with the timer, and I'll see you in the next fights coming up. Okay, so here is the Red Skull Acid Wash fight. Again, it's got Turn the Tide, and we got negative 40% Mystic. I'm still boosted from that prior Hulkbuster fight. I do get the special icons, so I started off with a special 3, switches to a special 1. I change my combo, it goes to a special 2 because I ended it differently. And I'm just gonna try to stick there, because, and I think I do try to switch it up, and it's just a mistake because you can't keep the poisons on. And look, I did a L2 with the L3 up and just no damage. So it shows that the node is working, you will only get damage really on the special that is indicated. And so I'm gonna try to line up special 2s because that was the biggest damage. I maybe could have tried some L1s, but I wanted to take off his armors. And the special 2 has a lot of hits, so if there's any aggression armor buildup, it will take out all those. And the buff immunity debuff that will get applied to Red Skulls should take off all of those armors. So I'm waiting out that special 2 timer. It's up, and I throw a special 2 with a poison on, and man, that damage is just nothing. Here's another one. 400, 400, 14. I mean, this is going to be a long fight. I do end up finishing it out well before the timer is up, because I think that the damage starts to improve once I was able to remove a bunch of those armors with the debuff immunity debuff that I put on Red Skull with the L2s. So here I'm waiting to an L3. He has poisons on, and if I remember right, this L3 does like nothing. Here's L3, poisons are on. He's at 49% health. I get a 12% bonus. I have like the Mystic boosts on. 8%. Okay, no, that one did pretty good. Okay, I think there was some other one that didn't do well, but so yeah, so that was good. I think I'm gonna try to get to another L2 here with poisons on, and it does some decent damage because I think I'm gonna have, no, the clairvoyant thing's gonna run off the death touch. Man, that's just, granted her L2 isn't hard hitting. The L2 with the incinerate is pretty good, but the power steel one is kind of weak, and it really shows with that negative 40%. All right, so here is the Hulk fight. This is Pleasure to Burn, and on this first one, I go in with Sunspot, and this is the first fight that shows up as bugged. You'll notice right off the bat, there's the timer, but there's no special icon anywhere in sight. So I have no idea what special will actually do damage. So if I launch I think I launch a special 1 here, and I get 2k, 2k, 2k. So obviously it wasn't a L1 that's up right now. And then I think I'd launch an L1 right here. No, I get to an L2. What am I doing? I'm just like dancing around. I think I was trying to bait his L2. There we go. So I launch an L2, and yeah, definitely it's not L2 because that did not do any damage compared to what it should be. This is a rank 3 6-star. So I launched an L1, and the damage was better. It was about twice as good as it had been on the first one. So I'm like, okay, that was okay. And I launched it again, and it's 4K, 4K. And then I think the timer had switched to L2. So it was questionable as if I got it on the right rotation or not. But okay, so here is the Luke Cage fight. This time, instead of Sunspot, I'm going to go in with Human Torch. Not going to activate the pre-fight because Pleasure to Burn, it's with Incinerates, and Nova Flames, I'm pretty certain, do not count towards Pleasure to Burn. Nova Flames are Incinerates, but they're a different kind. So here I'm just going to try to wait out the Unblockable and then go to town on him. So it started out with an L2. So if you saw my other fights, a lot of them started with an L3 on that purple icon. So it is random. It's not going to be the same every single time. And I'm just going to put my Incinerates on. And I think I get him with the L2 when the number 2 purple icon is up. And it does some good damage. And it does do the stun. So I do have the ability accuracy there. So yeah, that was good. Yeah, and so then we're just gonna finish out this fight. I'm not sure I do any more specials. I think he just dies from the incinerate damage. So it's a pretty simple fight. So for this one, the icon showed back up. So just before this Sunspot, it was broke. Torch worked fine. Now right after this, I'm going into Blade. I'm gonna go back to using Sunspot on this fight. And again, this one is broken. I'm going to start the fight, and there is no purple icon to indicate which special attack I'm supposed to use. So I'm just totally blind as to whether or not my special will actually do some damage or not. And I'm pretty certain on this one, I don't throw a special that actually gets decent damage. So here I throw an L1, I get 2k, 2k, 2k. So obviously, that is not on the right one. So then I throw it again, it's the same thing, but I get a little bit more damage because I got more flare states. I think I'm trying to bait out his L2, and he's being super passive. And thank heavens my Sunspot is a rank 3, and the Incinerates, they do some good chunky damage. But yeah, the fact that I can't reliably throw a special and know that it's gonna do good damage is really frustrating. So I don't even throw another one. All right, so here's another bugged fight. This is Crossbones. Waited for the notes to go down, and I'm gonna go back in with Sunspot. So it seems like Sunspot is bugged. On every single fight that I did on this AQ map 7, I never got the purple special icons to tell me what special to throw. So here, I think I'm gonna build up to an L1 and throw it, 2k, 2k, 2k. So I'm like, nope, that's not L1. And baiting out this special, and I think I try to throw another one. And I do, and it was 4k, 4k, 6k. That doesn't seem like it. You know, my damage does build up a little bit by little because of the flare states. And here I'm trying to bait out, and I hit him with a special 2. Boom, 40,000. So boom, I was on the L2. That one did work, and that was just lucky. I should be able to have my specials hit like that every single time. All right, so here is Symbiote Supreme. This is, again, Pleasure to Burn. I am going to use Human Torch on this one. So the last time I used Human Torch on Luke Cage, I got the purple icon to tell me what special was going to do damage. But on this one, you see the purple icon, not there. The timers keep rolling, but I don't get the icon to tell me if the special is going to have the normal damage, or if it's going to have the negative 100% attack and the ability accuracy reduced. So it's just super frustrating. Luckily, Human Torch is a beast against any Mystic, and Symbiote Supreme just melts. Now I'm going up against Ghost Rider next. This is still Pleasure to Burn. I should have used Human Torch here because he would have just melted him, but I'm going in with Sunspot to see if he will continue to be bugged. And yes, bugged. My purple icon to tell me what special I'm supposed to throw does not show up again. Repeatedly, I don't know if it's something to do with Sunspot, but the interesting thing is I'm supposed to have negative 100% ability accuracy reduction on specials, and when I hit my specials where they are, it is reduced damage. You can clearly see that it's reduced damage. On the L1s, I still build Flare State, which is kind of interesting. I would have thought that it wouldn't have. So there's an L2 by Sunspot. It did no damage. So obviously I'm not on L2. I go to L1 and that's not doing any damage. So it must have been on L3 and cycled through. So just kind of frustrating. Here is the Longshot fight immediately after. Again, Human Torch is the better option, but I'm just going to go in with Sunspot again to see if I keep getting this bug to where it doesn't show up that purple icon. And yep, doesn't show up. So it's just like, what am I supposed to do? This is just ridiculous. Like, Sunspot, his damage is coming from special ones, and he's just not getting it, right? And it's just pretty frustrating. So here I'm waiting out this super passive Oscillate node. I'm trying to bait out his L1. He's not doing it. He's just dancing over there. He's still dancing. I'm just like, what the heck? Okay. And then go to town, throw an L1. It's obviously not L1 because it looks like that was reduced. Push him to L2. Dex that. And he's dead. I mean, these fights should last a lot quicker than that with a rank 3 Sunspot. And then here's my last Pleasure to Burn fight. Again, probably should have went in with Torch, but I just wanted to see and showcase that Sunspot repeatedly is bugged with this Turning the Tide node modifier. Because look, there's no special icon to show me what special I'm supposed to be on. And I can change it manually by changing my combo, but it never shows up. The timer keeps going and keeps switching it. But yeah, it just never shows up as to, you know, there's an L1 and it just does 2K, 2K. So I'm not on an L1, right? And then I switch and I do an L1 and boom, same thing. So not on an L1. So I think this next one, it is L1, and I throw an L1. No, and I got no damage. Yeah, I don't know. And then here is my last fight. This is against Gambit. He's noted from the other side. So I got Turning the Tide, and it's everybody but Mystic is reduced, and then Mystics are reduced anyway. So I just go in with with Sunspot again. Again, it's bugged. I don't get the special timer. And I tried, because this fight is, you know, this Gambit is a lot beefier than the standard fights. I was trying to cycle through L1s until I hit an L1 that did some good damage, right? So I did one. I'm gonna wait out this timer, and I throw another one. I think, yeah, I do it, and then there it hits. So I'm on L1, and so this is L2, and I just, you know, unfortunately, I was trying to mess with figuring out what was active and what was not. So that was an L2. So now I'm at L3. And yeah, it's just hard to remember. This is such a long fight. So now I'm at L3, and then it's going to switch to L1. And I think I get hit. And after I got hit, I'm like, well, I don't know where I'm at anymore. And if I would have waited, I could have got some damage. But this is a Sunspot L3, and it does nothing. No damage. And it's all because I'm losing track. I'm trying to manually keep track in my head what special I'm on, and then I try to go hit him, and yeah, that didn't work. I got smacked, and this time I'm just frustrated. I get hit again by his L1, and I think at this point I just said, screw the timer, I'm just gonna play and ignore and just try to put on incinerates and do damage. And this isn't how it should be done. I should know exactly what I'm supposed to throw and how the timer is rotating onto those different specials. And yeah, it's just super frustrating. So I really hope Kabam identifies what's going on with Sunspot. It did happen with Torch. Claire, all my acid wash Claire fights and the Caltrops fights that I took with her, they were fine. So I'm not sure what interaction is causing it to not show up, but this really needs to be looked at because this is super, super annoying. But I do get this Gambit down after I just ignore the timer. I don't have any incinerates left, but boom, he goes down. So there you have it, guys. Thanks for watching, and see you guys in the next one.